got about an hour and 45-minute walk. Of course, our mileage thing didn't work. We were able to get some eggs and some bread, and we're heading back to Remission now. Looks like that north wind is just starting to come up. It was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 knots when we left, and now I'd say it's over 10. So I think I'm going to go check the anchor, make sure we're all good before it really hits. Anchoring in the Tuamotus is always a challenge. Oftentimes, the anchor doesn't even set. In fact, look at it here, it's just laying there. So what I have to do is actually have to pick the 85-pound anchor up, move it about 6 feet to a sandy area, and start pulling on it and working it so I actually get it to set. And then I gotta connect a couple of lines connected to buoys to lift the chain off the bottom so it doesn't wrap around any coral heads. Not a fun process, but it's one that has to be done. Otherwise, you risk the boat getting caught up, putting extra strain on the anchor, the chain, the bridle, everything. And then on top of it, because of all this and having to lift it, I got to let out a lot of chain. In fact, I let out 60 meters in 50 feet of water. It's a little longer than I like to put out, but in order to be safe, especially with these winds coming up, that's what I had to do. We made our way up from the South Pass back up to the north because of incoming weather. Well, I think the weather got here. The next few days is supposed to be a lot of wind from the north. Didn't really see anything about the rain, but a lot of wind coming up from the north, and the south anchorage is just not got any protection at all. But much better here up in the north, especially from these north winds. So we'll be here for a little while this goes through. It's supposed to get really bad tomorrow and the next day. And today is just supposed to be the prelude. But we had kind of a rough night yesterday. This is what living in the tropics is all about. Well, we're going on 3 days of this. And tomorrow's supposed to be the worst day. Can't even see town over there. I'm so glad we left the South Pass and worked our way up here to the north end. Because we'd be so exposed. I think it would have been worse than it would have been about 10 days ago when we were down there and had the north winds. Although I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to tonight. It's going to be kind of tough, I think. But we got the 2 anchor alarms on, and we'll get through her. Hopefully on Monday, today's Saturday, on Monday it's supposed to calm down finally. Can't come soon enough. We have been stuck on board with the bad weather now for like 5 days. And this is by far, we knew it was going to be the worst today, but this is by far worse than I thought. 37 knots of wind and rain. Actually, it's kind of a little bit scary here. We're moving all over the place. Luckily, I got about 190 feet worth of chain out and 2 floats to keep it off the bommies, but still. This is not what I bargained for today. I don't know if you can see it, but this guy even has his tender out over there. I'm not too bright. He could easily lose that. Hopefully tomorrow should start calming down a little bit. I'm so glad we moved out of the South Anchorage. But I'm ready for this to be over. Well, this is certainly what it's really like living on board. I'm a little worried about this monohull over here. He seems to be getting closer. I hope he's not dragging at all. I wouldn't want to be on a monohull in this stuff. He bounced around a lot more than we are. I mean, we're bouncing, but nothing like what he is. Just let you take in it for a second. Kind of a little roller coaster going on. That's how it was all night, trying to sleep in this stuff. Cindy, in fact, slept up in the salon. It was just too rough down below. I should have joined her. I didn't get much sleep last night. Looks like it's going to be like this all day. It was supposed to calm down, but I just checked predict wind. It looks like it's really not going to calm down now until Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, it's going to get less, but not fun. You know what's the worst part about all this wind and rain? Our Starlink internet's not working. The Broncos are on. Yeah, they're losing big, but at least want to watch it. 6 days, it's nice to get off of the boat, but we're greeted by the Navy. Which is funny, is they don't even have a police force here, but they got the Navy intact. You gotta wonder what's going on. Yeah, it feels really good to at least get off the boat and do some walking. And when I say do some walking, I mean do some shopping. But I went to the first grocery store. It was closed. I don't know why. It's within the hours and there's people in there. But they had it closed. And of course, when you call ahead and make reservations, you can always get into the pearl shop, right?
Yes, have a nice relationship with the pearl shop ladies.
Yeah. I mean, the gal's in France and she still can figure out a way to get it opened up. But now we're going to go try the other grocery store to see if they have anything open. We made it to the other grocery store. And this is a fresh food table. You can see, nada. It's one of the problems about being in a very lightly populated motu. Not a whole lot to choose from. Great pearl hunt, huh?
Yeah. You like this one? These are different colors.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I'm sure you're wondering, why are we at the airport? Why does Cindy have a backpack? Well, if you remember a few videos ago, we lost our coffee maker. Well, I've gone a couple weeks now without lattes, and that just can't happen any longer. So Cindy's going to go back and pick up a new coffee machine. Yeah, I know. Sounds kind of crazy, but also she needs to pick up an Apple Watch, and we got some boat parts that we need, and it was actually a lot cheaper to do it this way. Plus it's Reagan's 30th birthday, so she's going to go up to Bozeman and see Rags for her big birthday. I can't believe that my baby is turning frickin' 30. So that's where we're at. She's got a flight from Fakarava here to Tahiti and then into Denver. So she's only going to be gone 10 days, which is going to seem like 2 months to me, but it's good that she's got this opportunity to go back and see everybody and pick up what we need. So, out.
Maybe is that better? Not quite.
What's it got to be down to? 5 kilos?
Oh shit, I don't know. So you're a little late. Okay, thank you.
What's the matter?
They're a little late. It just now left Tahiti.
Oh.
So we'll go over here. You know, you don't need to stay. I'm going to be here till 11 o'clock. It's in the flight.
That's okay. I got nowhere else to go. Literally. I'm heading back all alone. Should be back, I think, in 12 days is when she'll be back. It's supposed to be really nice and calm today. Not quite. With Cindy gone, it's a good chance for me to get some maintenance things done on the boat. So today I'm going to do a pretty easy one. You know, again, with me in maintenance, it's always a good thing to have easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install these guys, which are just rubber bungees, onto the cable cars that go up the mast and connect the sail to the mast. The reason I do this is you can see they go right here, and I've got one that's not connected. I really can't tell until I get it up there, but I gotta connect it because that connects the sail to the mast basically. And we use bungees because it's a little bit better to have a little bit of flex on it. That way it doesn't pull on the sail in a bad way. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grease up the cars a little bit. We're having trouble getting the sail down at times. You can see that's why we've got that green line on there. That's working as a downhaul for us. It works, but I'd rather have it slide a little bit better. So to get this done, I got to open up the sail bag and get the sail up, which is, again, by myself, it's just a matter of back and forth. One quick little project I'm going to do today is pretty simple. I got some leftover grease from doing the mast yesterday, and I'm going to kind of lubricate the tender lift. My tender lift is this guy right here. Basically, it goes up and down. It makes it easier to move the tender around, you know, up and down and store it. And everything's done on a remote control. It's a hydraulic lift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this guy down. Put the tender back in the water. Oops. One thing I gotta remember, I forgot till just now, is put the plug back in the boat. You know, it's been 35 years or so since I last did this, where I didn't put the plug back in the boat. And for years, the Andahars have called me Bart the Boat Sinker. Well, I got to get rid of that little moniker. So in goes the plug. Glad I remembered that. So I'm going to lower the lift, let the tender float away, and then I'm going to grease up the supports. Because basically here are the supports, the hydraulic supports, and you can see it in here. I got metal on metal. So I'm just going to grease them up a little bit for what grease I have left. I try to get rid of the squeaking on it and help it move a little bit easier. I'm going to lower it now. Maybe you can hear how it does. Hear that little whining? Well, coming up it's much worse. Well, the tender is down now. You can probably see the supports a little bit better. You can see, oh boy, I gotta clean out salt off of there pretty good, but you can see down there it's going to come up, and right here is where she's really rubbing. So I'm going to put just a little bit of grease on the inside here, and hopefully that'll help get rid of the squeaking. Alright, she's starting to move up. Oh, it's better. Normally it's a very high-pitched sound. I amaze myself sometimes. Not often I can say that. On to the next project. I wish they all were this easy. Well, I got the scooter out and I got it charging up. The last time I was on these, or on the scooter, was, I'm going to think of it, was the last time I was alone on the boat. Cindy left me when I was in Tahiti. Seems to be a pattern there. Yep, 5 minutes later. She's coming down good. I'm glad I decided not to do the scooters. Now, I don't see a flag on this boat. I would assume he's French, but he's definitely European. Not the kind of sight that I really wanted to see. I look out, and there's a guy buck naked, just walking around. Well, it is boat life. So much for it raining all day. Actually, it should rain on and off. But it's beautiful right now, so I figured I'll go into town, get a little walk in. It's been a few days since I got any exercise off the boat. So now's as good a time as any. Gonna do it before that next rain hits. Woohoo! I just had a interesting conversation with one of the French officers off of that Navy boat back there. Actually, I kind of butted into the conversation. There was a tender getting off his boat before I did, but we were both at the dock at the same time, and he had a drone out, and the Navy guy ran over to him and said, "You're not going to use that drone over here, are you?" And the guy said, "Yes." Oh shoot, look what I got to traverse here. Like I said, there's been a lot of rain. But anyways, he said, well, if you shoot it, if you have it up anywhere near the boat, they're going to shoot it down. Actually, if the drones weren't so expensive, I might just send mine over there just to see it happen. But now I'm always not going to do it. So I'm just getting a little exercise out here. I'm going to walk down to the main grocery store. Again, there's only two. And see if for some reason they got any kind of fresh veggies in. I'm kind of missing it. It's been a few weeks since we had anything on board. We got a little bit of lettuce left and make a salad tonight. But other than that, haven't had anything. Actually, what I would like to get some apples or oranges, some kind of fruit. Any kind of fruit. So I'll check it out and see what it is. Other than that, just gonna walk around a little bit. Sun is out and it's really hot. But main thing is just, it's got to be 186% humidity out here today. Now, wouldn't you love to get off the boat and take a walk through this? It truly is paradise. Here's where all the produce is supposed to be. I don't know when the supply ship's supposed to be back in, but I hope it's soon. Let's just use something, you know? Let's see if they got anything else here. Well, I did score at the grocery store a little bit. I got some fruit for smoothies. It's 2.2 pounds and a dozen eggs. Guess what that would be? Here in Fakarava. That's $30. I better enjoy those smoothies. I better. Now, we have spent quite a bit of time here in Rotorova. I really like this little town. And there's 872 people in the entire atoll. What's cool though, we've walked enough, rid the bikes, just been in town enough that I'm starting to recognize people, and they're starting to recognize me. You know, people that would come by before, you know, wouldn't smile, they wouldn't wave or anything, but now they're all waving and they point at you like they know you, which is really kind of cool. You know, I feel like I'm becoming part of the community. Sometimes it's really cool to live in paradise. Have I said that before? Maybe a time or two. Yeah, I know I was warned. But it's such a beautiful day, and I really want to get some shots of Rotorova. So I'm going to chance it. Got my drone out. So I'm going to take her off. I'm not going to fly it real close to the Navy ship, but maybe close enough. Good thing Cindy's back in Denver. If I have to get a new drone because this one gets shot down, I'll be able to. All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. Well, just finished a nice swim, and that brings us to the end of this week's video. Appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, share, the whole bit. Anything helps. And next week, gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna go about how we got here. I don't mean how we got to Fakarava, but how did Cindy and I get to becoming and living this lifestyle. I hope you'll enjoy that. Again, thank you much. We'll see you next week. Last week, a group of U.S. scientists discovered that beer had tiny amounts of female hormones. To prove their theory, they gave 100 men 12 pints each of beer, and all of them started talking nonsense and couldn't drive. Wife asked her husband, "Have you ever seen $20 all crumpled up?" "No," he says. So she reaches down in her blouse and pulls out $20 all crumpled up. Then she asks, "Have you ever seen $50 all crumpled up?" Now he's getting excited, and he says, "No, I haven't." So she reaches down into her pants and pulls out a crumpled up $50. So now she asks, "Have you ever seen $50,000 all crumpled up?" And he says, "No, wait, no, well, gets excited." Then she says, "Go look in the garage."